Hello there, this is Rom Wills coming back at you with yet another video. Men must have a killer instinct. Now, recently in some, getting some comments here and there, and, you get some guys thinking, as long as they nice and charming and whatever, funny, they should be getting the women, but they not. But, one of the things that many men lack with women is a killer instinct. And, well, let me illustrate what I'm saying. I want to read an excerpt from a book. Now, I've mentioned a gentleman, Master Yao and Yamache Morris, and I've mentioned his most recent book, Awakening the Master Masculine. But a book that I read from him years ago, and I still refer to it. I mean, I got this thing underlined like a Bible. And the book was called Amumara, The Natural Blueprint for Sexual Relationships. Now, one of the things he did in the book was give scenarios of the things he was talking about. Now, one of his scenarios was called Charles the Invisible Man. It was basically about a nice guy who made a transformation into a more balanced, attractive man. But here's what this excerpt, what he wrote in this excerpt. He said, when it comes to scoring points with a woman, nice guys finish last, usually dead last. But Charles did not know this. He confuses the proper conduct for a human socially with the proper conduct for a male sexually. For today, many men are led to believe certain things about the attitudes of the modern woman which are contrary to the natural reality. The magazines say the woman wants such and so, and that the man should act thus and so. But the magazines don't tell the brothers that these things only apply to about 15% of the male population. These are the men from the select group who can get away with just about anything and usually do. But if the typical male takes the advice in the articles and changes to conform to the patterns of behavior dictated, he will sadly discover that nothing has changed in the neighborhood. In the jungle of sexuality, Charles will not kill any game unless he acquires the instinct of a hunter. I was about to say hustler. Yeah, it shows you where my mind is sometime, right? Thinking about that money. But that was a very powerful excerpt because it's very true. See, many men walk around out here and they feel like, well, I'm funny, I'm social, I even got looks, I got money. How come I'm not getting these women? Fellas, you don't have a killer instinct. I mean, that's a real thing. It's not, look, a woman understand the thing about a woman's choice. A woman might look at you, she might choose you, but rarely is she going to approach you. Very rare. When she chooses you, she's going to smile at you. She might exhibit some receptive body language around you, but that's her way of choosing. Women choose so in a non-verbal, passive way. Basically, they present a receptive posture towards you. And they basically say, you got to come here. That's their game. Their thing is attraction. A man has to pick up on that, and he still has to make the move. And he still has to close the deal. See, that's the one thing. When I say women choose the men, a lot of men assume that means they think it's the same way men choose women. No. Women just do things in a different way. A man still has to have that instinct to go and approach. And then when he approaches, he can't approach her just being on some ordinary social thing. He got to have that edge to him, something about him that says, hey, he sees her as a sexual being and he will be able to satisfy her sexual needs. When a woman chooses a man, she's choosing him for sex. And even when a woman selects a man, and even when he's in her select category, that still doesn't automatically close the deal. All that does is open the door. because many women will put a select man in her friend zone. In fact, I mentioned that in a video before. The more that they are able to do so, they will only limit their interactions with men just to select men, even the friend zone guys, if they can. So for a man to get in there, being chosen is half the battle. He still has to go up to her. He still has to talk to her. He still has to make it a connection. And he still got to know when to ask for the pussy. You got to have the timing right. It's not a guarantee. They don't just hand it to you. They'll wait for you to do it. I remember I was out with this woman a while ago, maybe a year or so ago, right? And then she had invited me out, right? Because I ain't really want to go, because rom's cheap. So she invited me out, went to this restaurant. We were talking. At some point, I just said, okay, why don't we just go back to my place, right? Just like that. I remember she took a sip of her drink, paid the bill. Boom. Bada bing, bada boom. We back at the place, doing the freaky. But I had to have that killer instinct to make the move. She wasn't going to make that move. She was definitely interested, but I'm still the one who had to pick up on the vibe to know when to say, hey, let's do this. I don't care how much a woman is feeling. Like I said, the women who going to be more aggressive about it and just tell you, a lot of times there's going to be some other issues. But a regular woman, I don't care how fine, she can be beautiful, whatever. Most women want you to make that move. They want to feel your desire. Understand, biologically, the egg does not go look for the sperm. The egg just sits there. It's trying to draw the sperm to it. That's a woman's nature, to draw a man to her. If a woman has to be more aggressive about it, usually they're not the most attractive women. They got to do what they got to do. But you have to have that killer instinct. Let me give you another story about this, right? There was this dude, and anybody who's followed me a very long time, like I'm talking about going back to when I was just writing blogs on my main website, right? I talked about this dude who's kicking ass now with women. You can't even keep up with them. Like, women, they are literally opening the door for him. Shit, they opening garage doors for him. They choosing him like crazy. But I remember when I first encountered him, right? And I encountered him by phone. He got my book. A mutual friend gave him my phone number. We talked, and this dude, his stuff was pitiful. He knows it. He laughs about it now, but his stuff was pitiful. And then, I actually met him, right? And I was like, how's this dude not getting it? Because everybody who seen him, even males, said this was a pretty boy. And that's what I said about looks. Yeah, looks are important, but it's not the only thing. See, that's where people get confused with that. So this dude looked like he should have been having women go crazy. He had that base thing. Yeah, they were probably choosing him, but he didn't have a killer instinct. What happened over the next few years, he developed a killer instinct. He learned when to close the deal. He learned to walk through that door with force. And you have to have that. And and that's where a lot of guys go wrong. See, yeah, they can get along with a woman. They can talk to a woman. And women even say they cool, might even tell them they cute. But it's a big difference between dealing with a woman socially and dealing with her sexually. In one of my videos, I talked about the sexual underworld. It's a different place. That's where a woman's sexual nature is fully expressed. So that person that she is in the social, like the surface world, might be totally different. Like I noticed, I know an older woman now. If you see her publicly, she seems to be, all prim and proper. But I've caught a whiff of her, like when she's away from having to be prim and proper, and she ready to go in the gutter. She ready to get down. But see, that's how it is. See, a lot of guys think just because that woman act a certain way on the surface, that they can act that way and they should want that guy. It's like, no. You got to present something to that woman to let her know you're aggressive. Sex is primal, and you gotta have that killer instinct. You hunting that woman. You trying to slay that pussy, and you got to think in terms of shoot. You got to go for the kill. You can't be sitting back there just waiting for that woman. Shoot. Now, I give you a personal story about me. Happened when I was young, right? Went over to this woman's house and shit. And I was so-so about the woman, right? I was so-so. She had a nice body, but her face was jacked, right? And I hadn't developed any appreciation for butterfaces at the time. So I was kind of just sitting back, right? And she was just walking around doing stuff around her apartment. And then at one point, she just sat on my lap and gave me a kiss on my lips, right? And then looked at me and then said, yeah, you know what, we can just be friends. And the reason why, because I didn't show any killer instinct. Now, if I was feeling her a little bit more, I probably would have went in there and it would have been on from the time I walked through the door. And it would have been like, yeah, come here, sit here and all that, right? But that was a perfect illustration. And see, she wasn't the type who was just going to really just throw it. See, women got to feel a man's maleness, assertiveness. Even in how he has sex with it, she got to feel like his assertiveness. Now, I might do a video on the 9 levels of a woman's orgasm. Oh yeah, it will be a paid one. At about the 5th or 6th level. What is it? 5th or 6th level? I forgot, it blurs together. Yeah, around about the 5th level, right? I say around there, around that range. If you having sex with a woman, it's going to be, if she getting into it, at some point, she ain't going to want that nice softness. She ain't going to want that rose petal stuff. Oh, baby, I love you. And you just kissing her lightly and shit. At that point, she want that straight Klingon shit. And she might even like, she'll start, that's when she grabs your butt. That's when she be like harder. Like, give it to me. She might even talk some shit. She's like, punks be smacking you and stuff, making you go harder, pissing you off. Say, that's all you got, give it to me. That's when they be like, take the pussy. They want that maleness. But before you even get to that point, they need to feel that maleness, that aggressiveness, that assertiveness from a man from the get-go. That is really what separates the player from the nice guy. The nice guy, when a woman say the guy is too nice, that means she ain't feeling his maleness. She ain't feeling his assertiveness. You know, sex is not a nice thing. It's a selfish thing. When you looking at that woman, you want to get some pussy. I mean, seriously, you want to tear her up. Women need to feel that energy, but they need to feel like definitely need to feel like you're going to give them some pleasure out of it. But they get turned on by you being turned on by them, by your reaction to them. They get turned on. They want that primal thing. That's why a lot of women, they'll get that good guy, settle with them, you know, maybe even have a kid or two with them, get that house, get the house in the suburbs. But then, you know, they'll try to last as long as possible. But if that man doesn't give her that raw primal thing, you know, that animal nature, she go find somebody who does. And I've seen it. I've witnessed it several times. And you be wondering, why she with that guy? Because that guy be fucking her. You know, that guy be taking her to that like higher level of orgasm. You know, and she can feel it. And women look for it. They look for it in how you approach them, how you look at them, how you hold them. They want a sense of it. But you gotta have that killer instinct. You gotta say, you know what, I want this. A lot of guys just miss out because they don't know when to close the deal. And it's hard to teach. It's something you just have to experience. I would say this though. You'll develop it. Oh, here's an example. Go find some video of The Godfather, right? And check out that scene when Michael Corleone is in Italy, right? And he's bopping along, and then he sees that Italian woman, Apollonia. Now, anybody who watched that movie will remember he was calm. Yeah, he put a bullet in somebody's on his father's behalf, which is why he was in Italy to begin with. But he was still kind of like that nice guy. But he saw Apollonia, a different part came out of him. They called it the Thunderbolt. And when a man gets that's just some raw lust. He couldn't even speak the same language as that. Well, he just wanted her. You gotta have that same type of attitude when you approach a woman. Like, you gotta have her. That's the key. That's the key to developing that killer instinct. You look at a woman, it's like, "Dick, girl, I gotta tear your ass up," because it's going to infuse your being with some energy that you might not have in any other occasion. You say that lust is good, but you gotta have it. You gotta just say, "Girl, I want to take," like where you shoot. That type of lust, that energy, that killer instinct, where shoot, your girl could be 100 miles away in another city, and you don't have a car. You get a 10-speed, get on the interstate with that shit. Be riding and shit, be like, boom, going so fast and shit, the cops stop you, but they look like, damn, they don't know how to mess with you. It was like, damn. It'd be like, "Sir, how'd you manage to go 80 on a 10-speed? He was like, you break out your phone and stuff. "Hey, I'm trying to get with this woman." They'd be like, "Oh shit, hey, grab onto the back of the car. We'll just put your car here. We'll put you in. We'll drive you there, bro." Oh man, I actually got out of a ticket that way one time. I said, "Dude, I'm going over here to get some pussy, man." He was like, "Oh, okay. I'll just give you a warning." Yeah, didn't understand. But anyway, right? You gotta have that killer instinct, no matter what, fellas. No matter what, all right? And that's what's gonna separate you. So, anyway, I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.